Hi everybody, it's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all-new video of an all-new show that I'm going to start reviewing. It's called Family or Fiance. I got into Family or Fiance last year, the year before that. I caught the middle of second season, the middle of the first season. Really good, really different, and something that really piqued my interest. So, starting off with season 2. Alright, so we're introduced to Shay and Will. Not much of a beginning intro to how they met. It just started off with they were both doing business together. Will was already attracted to Shay, but kind of reserved to talk to her. But then he just took a plunge and asked her out, and they started dating. So now we're coming to find out they're engaged, and they're coming to the house to get some relationship advice. Come to find out that Will's family, first time meeting her, was very cold, very judgmental, and just trying to figure out where is that coming from. And when it comes all down to the blessing of yes or no in the marriage, if not, then the marriage will commence. But they want to get the full understanding of the blessing. So they arrive to the house and they have their first session. Come to find out, Will was legally married when he started dating Shay. And he had not told her while dating he was married and not fully starting the process of getting a divorce. So that was already a shock. And Shay felt hurt. She felt lied to, as any woman would. But she continued the relationship, and he got the divorce. But the way they went about it, it wasn't right. So, and then of course he also has two kids in the marriage, 10 and 13. And it was asked, does she have a good relationship with them? Turns out she does. And of course it was a little rocky, but of course that's natural. But she has a good one. So, but then the one thing that was asked about the year, they had already dated prior coming to a year when she first met his parents. So as far as the whole entire relationship being together, I didn't hear a full year. I didn't hear a full like understanding of how long they've been together. But they're 13 years apart. No, 12 years apart. So come to find out who's coming to the house, we got Will's mom, dad, and brother. Then we also got Shay's family, her mom, her sister, and her best friend. So Tracy wants them to each participate in a game. Will, you will do Would You Rather with Shay's family. And Shay, since you have such a rude welcoming, you will be playing the game of Tower of Truth with Will's family. So, mom and dad arrives. There's no hellos at the door. Will is the only one saying hello to his family, and it instantly is cold. It's instantly an uncomfortable situation. When I saw the scene, I felt like, okay, the mom should have said hello and Shay should have said hello. You know, manners. Say hello when somebody comes into the room or someone walks in the door. But Shay's going back to the first time meeting them, which was uncomfortable, rude, and very cold. So she took a step back and decided to dismiss herself because since you guys gave me such a rude welcoming the first time I met you, this is the second time I meet you, I'm not certain if I'm going to get the same reaction, so I'm going to take a step back. I'm not mad at her for that. I completely understand that. So Shay Sammy arrives. It's a totally different situation. It's all smiles and it's all hugs. Like Will is so light, he's so bright, he's welcoming. Shay's light, she's happy, she sees her sister, she's her family, and they're both like, getting along with each other. It's a very happy moment. So it's interesting how Will and Shay are getting along with her family well. What is the disconnect between Will's family and Shay? We're gonna find out. So the family meeting comes up and everybody expresses their concerns. Jonathan, who is Will's brother, he said he wants to get to know Shay better. The mom. The mom is all about the commitment of what a marriage is. Marriage is a lifelong journey. It's not to be taken lightly, and I want it to be considered seriously. I'm like, okay. Ooh. Then, of course, the dad, same thing. He wants to get to know Shay better. Shay's family, we got the best friend. She wants Will to stand up for Shay more. And, when it comes down to, her trying to get to know your family, you need to enter the room. It's lead the way. You're not leading the way, and it's leaving such a big gap of the disconnect and the miscommunication. The sister, she wants Shay to develop a relationship with his family. The mom, she believes the family don't like Shay. We're gonna find out why. So we get to the games. So Shay's outside while the family is writing on the questions on this Jenga tower tree. So, the first question was asked, do you have a relationship with his kids? She said, yes, I believe I have a really good relationship with them. In the midst of her explaining that, and while she's saying, I know that it's going to be a different, change of pace. It's going to be a different, change of person. And I'm going to strive to be the best stepmom I can be. And when I ask for help, I will. The mom interrupts her and says, so have you heard little Will say that he doesn't like you? She said, no, I haven't heard that. Well, he told me. The mom got a little attitude and she's feeling some type of way about Shay, and I do not like it. It's very nasty. I don't like it at all. Will was asked, does he want more kids with Shay or does he want to keep the kids that he has? He said he wants more kids. Okay. The brother asked a very inappropriate question. If Will can't give you kids, is that a deal breaker? She said no, we'll just adopt. I was like confused about the question he asked because she said she'll adopt. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she knows what's at stake of her, I guess, of which that she knows what's going on in her body, and she's talked to Will, so they know this the steps. He's like, so you wouldn't want to have your own kids? She said, of course I would. But I didn't like where the question was coming from. It didn't sit right with me. Then, it was asked, what are your deal breakers? She said faithfulness and not developing a relationship with the parents. You guys, I want to have one with you. The mom talks about the commitment again, about, caring for her when you're including the family, when things go rocky, I'm going to have your back. Then while she's saying that, she's reflecting on having her ex-daughter-in-law's back. I was like, why are we talking about the ex-wife? She's not here anymore. Why are we talking about her? And then, she's like, the first time she met her, she told Will that she wasn't ready to meet her. And she said that he told her that you wasn't going to be there. I'm like, Will, you didn't tell your mom that Shay was coming? I thought that the first time they met, you knew that she was coming. You told her, right? Turns out he didn't. He didn't tell her. And then, of course, in the midst of him not fully, ending his marriage yet, the mom wasn't comfortable. She wasn't ready for it. She claimed that, he hasn't given time yet to get his divorce final in order to start bringing in someone new. And that's where it left off at. And of course, it was another question asked of Will. Do you want more family business or you want people to stay apart? He said, no, of course I want more family business. I want everybody to get to know everybody, come together because we're going to be one big happy blended family. Shay, in the beginning of the episode, she did not know that he was married. They had been dating for some time already, and she didn't know that he was married. The mom didn't like that answer or didn't like how she said it because then she said, at some point you found out, right? She said, yeah, I found out. And you did not think to rethink things. You did not think to take a step back. She said no, because Will believed that the marriage was done, and I wanted to be there to support him. The mom said that Shay was selfish to stay in the relationship with him after knowing that he was married and that knowing that he did not start the divorce process until y'all got serious. She feels like, to me, I feel like the mom was trying to think that Shay was coming in as a gold digger. She was coming as a homewrecker. When if Will said the relationship was done, the marriage was over, he just hadn't started off the divorce final, I really don't think there's nothing else that Shay could have done that would not have led to the divorce if he was already thinking that. So, because she says her daughter-in-law's eyes, the marriage wasn't over. I said, again, why are we talking about the daughter-in-law? Like, should the daughter-in-law have come on this episode because you want to fix their relationship so bad because you're so concerned about her feelings? Like, what's the problem here? I don't like that. And then, of course, why wouldn't he tell you he was married? Obviously, Will probably thought that, he wouldn't get a shot at Shay if he wouldn't have told. He thought that it would have been like on some, mistress type thing. But Shay stood by him. So, and then, of course, Shay told the mom that Will and the ex-wife wasn't living together. So, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. So, we get back to another question that I didn't like. Only 2 questions was asked of Will that was good questions, but on Will's family, they were asking her inappropriate questions that wasn't necessary and shouldn't have been asked based off of the information that Will was wrong. He miscommunicated on a lot of things. He dropped the ball, which is what they led to them asking these questions. They asked Shay, what did you own before she met Will? I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about what she owned? I swear, this is really giving off like y'all think she's a gold digger. Like, what does Wu have? She said, I owned my own car, I owned my own house, and I had my own bank account. Next. What type of question is that? I did not like those questions at all. That made me mad. I didn't like them. So at the family dinner, everybody's like sitting around. Shay addressed the situation about the first meeting. Obviously, since it wasn't communicated that Shay was coming and that the mom expressed that she wasn't ready to meet her, the best friend was like, okay, so if you knew that the parents wasn't comfortable meeting her yet, why would you still put her in that situation to get the green that she did? He was in the love bubble, just basically reeling off of what he has gone through with her. He just assumed that they would just get to know her and not think about his past. Obviously, his past was just too recent, and they just can't help but, look at that first. Then, of course, mom has the issues about the grandchildren not liking her, thinking that the grandchildren are going to be forced to liking her. And, you know, his Will said, my son is very like smart and manipulative, so he knew what to say to get you riled up. And then of course Shay said, of course it's gonna be a natural reaction, a natural fear of a kid getting used to someone else new in the house that's not their mom or not their father. That's what a new baby is meeting a family member for the first time, never seen them a day in their life, and then they're looking little, babies gotta look. They gotta look, they be like, I don't know you. Mommy, I don't know her. I only know you and daddy and brother. I don't know you. Who, Papa, who them people? I don't know them. So, of course, it's a natural reaction for people to not get comfortable when they first meet somebody. But as days go by, you do develop some type of relationship. So, the mom was on some BS. And I don't like that at all. And I feel like, though, since Will did not communicate about Shay, it painted a picture about Shay that was so off about what she is right now. So off. And I didn't like it at all. Then she was expressing about the questions she was asked. The brother instantly talking about the kids. He expresses even more about her reasoning of wanting to have kids, and if Will can't give her any, will that break up the relationship? Or will she be a different person? I'm like, well, that's not up to you. That's not up for you to decide. And then the brother outs that Will had a vasectomy. Without knowing the full story, he just outs that he had a vasectomy and assumes that that's going to be the deal breaker. The sister. I was with the sister and the mom and the best friend all day. What they have going on does not affect anybody at this table. That's their issues. That's their discussions. That's their life. All we have to do is support it and be happy for them. We don't need to put our 2 cents in as far as getting too deep involved in somebody else's marriage. You don't want to do that. That gets messy. Everybody else's opinions get left and right and lose the focus on who is in the relationship in the first place, which is the man and woman, Will and Shay. They're the relationship. Nobody else is in it. The brother believes it, and I don't know why. Then, of course, he's going back to what the ex-wife did. And I'm like, I'm like the sister. We're not talking about her. That's his ex-wife. That was past. We're leaving it alone. This is new. We need to start from there. So stop talking about it. And the mom, she said, worry about you and your relationship. Don't worry about nothing else. Will chimes in and said he praises Shay for being there for him, and vice versa. She's made him a different person, and he's made her a different person. The best friend said, your mama don't believe it. She don't believe you. Then, of course, the mom feels like it's a broken record. It's a broken record because it's the same thing he did to his ex-wife. Put her on a pedestal, built her up, and he was led to the wayside. And then, of course, before she could finish, the mom was like, oh, that's not going to be my daughter. So don't put her in that situation. Don't put her as she's going to be the same woman that's going to treat your son differently. Or treat your son the same way that your daughter-in-law. Like, you're trying to paint my daughter out to be either worse than what your daughter-in-law was, so that way your daughter-in-law could be perceived as a saint. I don't like that. Didn't like it at all. They tend to argue. The mom, her name is Annie. Don't like that bitch. Don't like her. She needs to chill out. Chill out, chill out, chill out. So she wants Will to be his own man and not have a woman dictate him. I'm like, dictate him? I haven't seen Shay talk to this man. Weird, rude, belittle him. I'm like, what picture are you painting about this woman? You just looked at her so evil. It's so nasty. Then, of course, the mom calls her family trifling and bottom feeders. I'm like, you got your motherfucking nerve. Ooh, you got your nerve. I do not like that at all. The dad wants her to just chill out. The more you try to like step in, tell him what to do, the more he's gonna rebel. In his old age, with 2 kids of his own. So chill out. The next day, we get to see the session with Tracy. Shay feels insulted. She feels disrespected. She feels like, what did I do so wrong for them to talk to me that way? Will realizes that he lacked the communication that started all of this. Had he not communicated from the beginning about his marriage, about introducing Shay to his family, kept in contact about Shay, they wouldn't have had this awful picture about her. So then he wanted to have a one-on-one with them. And then after the one-on-one, Will's mom and Shay gonna go to bridal flower, like to make a bouquet. He expresses, like, in the midst of trying to get that worked out, Will clarifies the whole vasectomy comment. He did have one, but before he had it, he stored some samples. And then he's looking to reversal. So the brother got half the information and not the full reasoning. So Will, you dropped the ball on not communicating fully of what you wanted to do, but then of course the brother was wrong to just paint that as to be the deal breaker for the relationship. That wasn't his business to bring up. That was your business. So the brother was wrong for that. So he opens up to them. He apologizes to them. He said, you know what? I just assumed that you guys would still see me as the same boy that I left when I left Texas at 17 years old, but I'm not. I've changed. I went through some things with my ex-wife. I'm trying to do something differently. To Shay, I get it. It's a fast relationship. I'm getting out of a marriage and getting into a new one. But what you guys don't know about Shay, she's been there for me. Obviously, he hasn't communicated enough that his business was failing. He's going to do a lawsuit. And he had to put down a huge sum of money to fix it. Otherwise, he would have lost everything. Shay, without even thinking it, had 6 figures in her account. Took it out, helped him. Now, he's not saying that's why he's with her, but the fact is that she went 10 toes down for him to help him out with something when she didn't have to. He's like, yo, I'm not going to lose her. She helped me out with the most biggest thing I've ever had to work for in my life, which is my business. And he did not communicate that with his parents, which led that such an ugly picture about Shay being his homeworker, because obviously y'all looked at Shay like she wanted something from Will. Turns out it's the complete opposite. She helped Will. And y'all looked at her like she was the gold digging whore that's trying to take your son for everything he got. But since he not communicate what he was going through, you guys painted an awful picture. So after that, Annie and Shay go bridal flower bouquet. I don't know. I'm fumbling on how to say that word. So she apologizes to how things were, and I don't know why she did. I feel like at the end of the day, you came in a situation of a man not communicating throughout the whole entire process, and the mom, trying to stick up for her son, thinking that her son could do no wrong. It's the woman's fault. So, she looked at her own validity and her own motivation of trying to paint her out to be this bad person because she was still feeling the breakdown, the breakup of her sons and his ex-wife's relationship. She was still, reeling from that. So that felt a little hurt from her. And then she said she was wrong. They both apologized and they want to start fresh. So, in the midst of everybody else is sitting around the kitchen, the brother apologizes because he felt like, that wasn't my case. I did not mean it. I felt if I would have known that, because knowing that the past 3 days, it's 2 days actually, he gotten to know Shay differently what he thought he would. So we get to the final session. We got to rebuild it. Rebuild it starts with saying what it is, where it's at, and where it's going. So Shay enjoyed the bonding time with Annie. They want to start anew, start fresh. Then we get to the end of the day, which is the blessings. Everybody says yes, and then we start the wedding planning. They didn't do like a clip of when they're gonna start planning, but obviously I'm here for it. That's all I have. It was a pretty good episode. I was looking through the episodes of the next few episodes. I'm saying episodes more than once. I don't know why I'm fumbling, but I'm really excited about reviewing this show. And if you guys like this show, please comment down below. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe to my channel. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.